My first YouTube rant. In the long tradition of YouTube rants, I really think of Wrangler Star, and I can't tell you, when I used to watch his channel more, how many of his long-winded rants that I watched and enjoyed. Now, I've never done one of these, and I don't really plan on making it a tradition. My mom said of her dad that insults, rudeness, it just rolled off his back like water off a duck's back. And I try to keep my feathers oiled. Most of the time, it just doesn't bother me. I don't really care if people want to get in the comments and say insulting things or say rude things, but sometimes one of them just slips through and kind of hits you, and this is one of those times. What I'm referring to is people who are in the comments and saying things like, Art, why are you focusing on this other thing? Why are you making this goofy video or this video that's not about renovating your house? Why aren't you just focused on the house? Art, why are you making a fermenting course? You need to be focused on your house. I'm gonna give away the ending of this video right now and just say it. Making interesting videos and diversifying my revenue stream through things like selling a fermenting course. That's my job. That's my job. I quit my nursing job, and a lot of people, you know, have commented and saying, well, you have all this time now, you should just work on the house. Now, they're right to a certain extent. I'm not saying they're totally wrong, but you have to think about it in the context of making videos and diversifying my revenue stream as my job. That's actually my profession, and that's the way that I make money. I can't stop doing it. Now, I want to frame all of this in the context of just saying the vast majority of the comments on our channel are amazing. You all are super supportive as a group. And the even more vast majority of emails I get, the people who take the time and sit down and write, are extremely positive. I also want to say, I don't really mind some criticism. I don't mind if people say, hey, you're doing this wrong, let me share some information with you. I'm totally fine with that. And you know what? I'm not telling people not to leave comments. I'm just responding to a few of them that I think have things twisted in their head. I think some people think that they're watching our life through a magic window. And I think I've experienced this actually watching other YouTube channels. It feels as though you're just peeking into someone's life and peering in through this magic YouTube window. Well, I want to tell you the flaw in that thinking. The window that you're watching our life through, it's called hard work. So I remember when Justin Rhodes started making videos, I actually had this kind of same reaction in my mind. I was like, what? He's making YouTube videos and Google is paying him for that? And I thought, wow, that would be the life. You make a video, you get paid. If you could live on that income, that would be so easy. And then I started doing it. It is a ton of work to make videos. Every single video I make, or nearly all of them, the good ones anyway, I'm spending probably 1 to 2 hours extra out of my day to film them, and I'm sitting, staring at a computer, editing for 2 to 5 hours. And I have to fit that into my day, in addition to actually doing the work that I'm filming, because I can't just take those, you know, approximately 7 hours and make a video and be done. That would be a great work day. 7 hours a day, no complaints there. I'm adding those 7 hours to actually running family life with my wife Bree and running this stuff, which actually is what the videos are about. So we have to do it. Plus, it's really why we're out here, is creating this life that we want to make. It's also not good to assume that you know someone else's experience in someone's life if you don't. And our videos, even though we really share ourselves in our videos and feel like we should be sharing ourselves in our videos, even though that's the case, you only are seeing 20 minutes out of a 24-hour day. We work really hard, and the work as in the income producing work is actually making videos. And then more recently, diversification. So I'm gonna talk about fermenting foundations and diversification. And this is not me telling you that I need more money. This is not me asking you to, buy any product or course that I have in the future. It's simply me sharing myself, because that's actually what we do on this channel. Diversification is necessary, and these little extra projects that are distracting me, they're necessary because I quit my job and made a leap, and YouTube ad revenue fluctuates like crazy. We've had it fluctuate by a factor of 4 or 5, as much as 5 times within a year, down and up. It's a very unstable income to depend on. So the reason why I branched out and actually added the fermenting course is because I need this diversity, so that when we have the winter slump this winter, which I anticipate coming to one extent or another, we're not thrown into crisis. Let me tell you just a really short, silly story. There's a plumber. He installs plumbing in new houses. He repairs plumbing. He has a big, important project he needs to do for his family. He needs to renovate his house and get all the mold out. And he's going to work every day, doing his work, which is plumbing, to make money. And he's adding to his savings every week so he can knock the house project out. And someone sees his house and says, "You haven't made progress on your house. Here's my advice to you. Quit your job as a plumber and just go work on your house." And in his plumbing business, he's also venturing out into new ventures. He hired some people, he's expanding the area that he covers, and the same person said, "Hey, why are you getting distracted from your house? You need to renovate your house for your family. You should quit your plumbing, quit branching out, and just go renovate your house." Well, I'm gonna ask you, how would that turn out for the plumber if he just said, "Okay, I'll quit my job right now, and I'm gonna live off my savings instead of still making an income, and eat my savings down, and I'm gonna go work on my house"? We all know that would turn out in disaster. I'm not very good at ranting, guys. That's why I don't do these. I really am much better at cutting one-liners, and I'm very much trying to avoid that in the comments. I really have taken a little step back from the comments. I don't know if you noticed that. I got an email the other day from a very kind lady, and she said, basically, "Art, you need to be policing the comments. I'm sick of the bullying." And there has been kind of a negative trend in the comments. And what I'm saying is, it might be that like 1 in 10 is negative now, whereas in the past it would be, I'm just making these numbers up, in the past it might be like 1 in 50. So there's been a trend. The majority of the comments are still positive, so keep leaving all of your comments. I don't care if you leave negative comments, you can. She said you need to get in and police the comments. And I'm not doing that right now. And I'll tell you the honest truth right now is I'm focused on moving forward on our house, getting out of the camper into a rental house so I can focus even more on the house. And I am not in the comments. I've taken a step back, honestly, because it was starting to get to me a little bit. Even though it's a natural relationship to share your life with someone else and tell them all about your life, but some aspects of what we're doing, this being our job, it's really strange. The fact that we share with thousands of people, sometimes you can't handle all the feedback. We've been very encouraged by many emails and many comments, but with this little bit of a negative trend, I've kind of just stepped back. Feeling a little vulnerable myself, I've personally stepped back from the comments. I talked earlier about hard work. I don't want you to think that I don't like what I'm doing. I don't want you to think, when I talk about the negative comments or stepping back from the comments, I don't want you to think I don't like this. In fact, I feel incredibly blessed. And the flexibility that I have in my life right now it's unrivaled by any other time in my life. In fact, every day I'm thankful that I'm not drowning and putting hours into nursing away from our place, and that I have so much time to work with our kids, to be around our kids, and with Bree. I'm honestly blown away with what we've been able to achieve. And the truth is that it's not all achievement. In fact, much of it was a gift. And what I'm referring to is our success was a gift and a blessing. Some people call it luck, and they talk about how actually wealthy people have a lot of luck that gets them to where they are, even if they have the perception that it is their achievement and it's based on their abilities. But there's some really interesting articles out there on the randomness of who becomes successful. And an example, you may have heard this, is hockey players. And I'm gonna mess this up, but when you look at hockey season, and hockey's a rough sport, you have to be big, you have to be strong. When you look at professional hockey players, the vast majority of them have a birthday in January. I think that's the right month. And you might think, that's some crazy fluke. But the reason for it is that when they're kids, and you know, kids can change dramatically in a year. The kids who had their January birthdays, they were just had their birthdays right after the cutoff. And so the oldest kids on any given team had a birthday in January. And they did better because they were the oldest kid on the ice. And they ended up getting extra attention from their coaches because look, they're like, wow, look, he's like the star on the team. And they ended up going beyond youth teams. They ended up going professional. And you can see that when you look at professional hockey players and their birthday date. And that's not about skill. I prefer to view our success in this freedom that I'm talking about as a blessing. And you all actually have participated in that blessing. And I think that I was thinking about this the other day, and I was just thinking about this undeserved blessing that we've been given through the whole thing, the YouTube channel, which we put a lot of work into, actually thousands of hours in our first years. And we're just still racking those up. But I see it all as this huge blessing. And what I was thinking is, if you're too humble to accept a gift from the God of the universe through other people's hands, their conduits, then that's not humble at all. That's pure arrogance. And so that's just the place I'm trying to live in every day, is basically gratefulness to God and also to the people who've made it possible. And that's you all, even if you're just watching the channel, but it's also you all for doing all the amazing things you've done, whether it's directly giving us gifts or just supporting us through amazing comments and encouragement. So I just want to end this video here on a note of gratitude. I know this was a rant. It really was a rant. Sorry that it wasn't a very good rant. I didn't yell or scream or make crazy faces. I didn't huff and puff too much. I feel pretty good about it though. My goal in this was to not say anything that I regretted, and I don't think I've done that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.